We've been back in the US now for 3 months.
3 months.
3 months. And I think this week we finally realized this isn't going to feel normal. This isn't going to feel like we even understand what's happening for a while. This is like the third time I've tried to say this intro. The kids keep almost going in full speed into a biker, so.
Where's all the sharks?
I don't know where the sharks are, buddy. So I just saw a family walk by with about as many kids as ours, and they just seem so much more calm than us. And I was thinking, I asked the parents, what's your trick?
Bird. Look.
And I realized that it's not just the kids that were calmer, I think it's also the parents that were calmer. But then it dawned on me something that we've been reflecting on a lot recently, and that is that a lot of our issues, parenting issues, and how do we make it through coronavirus and all these things that we've been feeling, those things are not just about parenting or just about our kids. It's also about the fact that we just moved countries and that it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult for a while, and that's not something that we will be able to understand or fix or make better. But talking about it, no one's going to be able to make that faster. It's just going to be a process. Does it look like a venomous one?
What kind of snake is it?
I'm not going to touch it, babe.
Mom, that's not it. Please. I skipped it 10 times.
Whoa. So those of you who are tracking with us week after week, we are going to talk about the 3 confirmations the Lord gave us on moving to Kansas City. More on that later. I talked to Artie a little bit about it. The fact that we're feeling a little bit more aware of how this season's going to just feel weird.
Yep. It's called cultural reacclimation. Is that the word?
Culture shock, reentry.
No, yeah, I know. Counterculture shock.
Counterculture shock.
I haven't experienced it that much yet just because we haven't been with people, but the more we're with people, the more I realize I have less in common with people that are like my age, moms, kids, all of that. Like, yes, I have things in common, but there's a certain level of thinking that's just different than me. Like, I think differently now after living in another country, and there's no way really, it's hard to really put words to it. It's just that it's different, and no matter how much you talk and share with people, you can feel there's a difference in how people talk and their perspective on things. It's not wrong or right, it's just, it's not the same, and that's a really weird feeling when you're in your own country again. Hey, just wait, guys. Just wait.
So, for those of you who missed the last vlog, maybe go watch it. It's called What It Felt Like When God Told Us to Come Home. Basically, we thought we were going to be in Norway for longer than we were, and God told us to come home, and that was kind of a big surprise to both of us, and it's really a challenge for me to hear that. I felt like God had told us to ask Him to confirm it.
Yeah.
So we did. We asked Him to confirm it, and we felt like He said He was going to give us 3 confirmations. So we started like really just looking for those things, and I want to tell you what those 3 confirmations are, but I'm afraid that I have to put our kids to bed first. I just don't think it's going to be possible to do it right now. But if you missed the last vlog and you're new here to this channel, if it's the first video you're watching, we are recent missionaries with YWAM to Norway, and we moved to Kansas City to work with YWAM here. Welcome. I'm Phil.
I'm Natasha.
We never tell anyone our names. I bet there's people that have been watching the vlog for months and they don't even know our first names. We're the Dosas.
You always say my wife. They might know your name.
Any questions you guys have that are new to the vlog, put them down there in the comments. Let us know what you want to hear about, and we'll try and include more of that info. Because we don't know what you don't know. We know ourselves pretty well, but we know that you don't know us super well, so.
Me and my eyes were open.
Hey there, little dude. Hi, buddy. So I'm going to share with you guys the 3 confirmations the Lord gave us in moving to Kansas City. And I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm not going to explain them right now in this video because it's just too much for this video. But he gave us this word about the decision making a lot of sense for Tasha, or it being a big deal, or connecting with Tasha in some way. And we were going from a little bit of light to a lot of light. Tasha's always been interested in moving to Kansas City. She wanted to move to Kansas City instead of going to college where she met me over 10 years ago. So to me, when I read that word again, looking back, we got that word like 6 months before we even visited Kansas City and the Lord spoke to move here. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's word is about Kansas City. The second word we got was, or confirmation we got was, we were actually listening to Mark Anderson, who's the leader of the YWAM Kansas City Center. And he was just talking about the history of YWAM Kansas City, why it's here, and I want to share more about that story later. But he talked about the prayer and missions movements coming together, and he talked about it in a lot of different detail and what that looks like here. And it was just really connecting with us. It really spoke to us, and we felt like, oh my gosh, this is right. This is where we're supposed to be. And the third confirmation we got was, I was looking at notes from a fast I did in April of last year, and the Lord gave me this YouTube channel called Stay and Go, and gave me all these different details on it, and I couldn't figure out what Stay and Go meant. I couldn't figure out what this was connecting with, but when we were praying and looking for confirmations, he brought up this channel, and I went back and looked at the notes on it, and I realized that stay is really about prayer and staying in the presence of God. We have just 5 minutes from our house, the International House of Prayer, 24/7 prayer, with music. That prayer movement that's had a huge impact internationally from here in Kansas City, and then the missions that's happening with YM Kansas City, those two things kind of coming together and connecting in this place. Stay in the presence of the Lord, go to the nations. And I don't know what that YouTube channel is going to look like. I don't know even if it's going to exist fully. I'm kind of trusting God one step at a time. This is the first time I've talked about it on here. But those are the 3 words that he gave us as confirmation, and looking at them we thought, okay, this feels like indicators, that we're supposed to go to Kansas City. They just made sense as we were at peace with it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, I put together a playlist here for some of my favorite vlogs called Mistakes That We've Made as Missionaries, and also the lessons we learned from those mistakes, obviously. So if you're new here, that'd be a great one to click. And you can subscribe if you like the content, if you want to learn more about missions, if you want to hear our reflections on missions. That's where we're headed with this channel. So we'll see you guys next time. Peace.